going on YouTube? Let's talk about the Sig Sauer P365 Mad Guts 12 round magazine. I'll get into the good, the bad, and my experience with these magazines. Stay tuned. We have the Sig 365. It has the 12 round Mad Guts magazine. And I do have one in the chamber as well. This is the first shots. Let's test it out. All good? Let's keep going. Alrighty, so let's get into the Mad Guts 365 extension kit. Quick disclaimer, this extension kit was sent out to me by Mad Guts. This is technically a sponsored video. There was no money exchange. I will say both good and bad things that I found in my experience. This is not a show video. I'm not just saying good things. They didn't pay for my opinion. They sent out a product and I'm reviewing it. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Sig Sauer P365. This is mine. I bought it back in 2018. I'm a big fan of the pistol. I still carry it as my concealed carry pistol today. The reason I like it is because it holds 10 rounds in a flush magazine compared to comparable offerings at the time, such as the Glock 43 and the M&P Shield, which only hold 6 rounds in a flush magazine. And it's actually considerably bigger in terms of, I guess, all the dimensions, in terms of width, in terms of, I guess, length, and I guess length both ways. So, big fan of this. I did come across these upgrades, which what this does is gives you +2 capacity in your magazine. Here is a factory Sig Sauer flush magazine. It holds 10 rounds. Here is a Mad Guts magazine, and it holds 12 rounds. Awesome. 20% extra capacity, +2 will let you hold 13 rounds total if you +1. That's awesome. Who doesn't like extra capacity with almost minimal in terms of length increase? I'll show you again. You get a little bit of a pinky extension compared to the typical flush magazine, but if you compare it to a factory extension, so this is still a 10 round mag, the Mad Guts is actually smaller. How did I do that? Let me show you with the instructions. So this is a Z fold, like a wire spring. When it compresses, it can get a lot, I guess, tighter, a lot smaller than typical coil spring. This is the factory magazine internals. And it has a different follower. It's more minimal, and a different base plate. With those in combination, you can hold a lot more in a typical magazine. You do have to use the original magazine body. There are videos, for example, Mad Guts has their own video showing the install, and there's a lot of other videos showing the install as well. So not something I feel like I need to do. You can go straight to the website or straight to the actual YouTube channel where they show how to install that. So I recommend you do so. It's very simple. If you know how to take apart a magazine, you know how to put this together. Took me maybe a minute. It's not a hard install at all. So I feel, something, if you need to get the instructions, you can get that in another video. So I have brought this out to a range trip. I shot about 100 rounds in one magazine. Not exactly that much. I guess I want to do more testing, but that will be as time comes. I will actually use this magazine as my daily carry in my concealed carry. So I advocated for it enough that I'm going to use this for my concealed carry for personal protection. I think it's a nice upgrade, and I feel confident in its reliability that I'm going to carry this. Let's get into why I like this, again, because of the size. I have medium-sized hands, and I actually like the extension. It just gives you a little bit more of a shelf to put your pinky on. And you could say, oh, there's factory magazines that give you that. Factory 6 Sauer 12 round magazine, which the extension goes maybe a ½ inch lower. but you have a small pistol because it's a small pistol. I feel like you're defeating the purpose of having a small pistol when you have a long 12, 15, 17 round magazine, because it's hard to carry. You know, if you need high capacity, go with a high capacity magazine, in my opinion. Or gun like the Sig Sauer P365 XL, the macro. If you need a longer frame, there's many better options in terms of just having a very, like this pinky extension like this. But yeah, I told you why I like it. I like the shelf. It helps with my hand, and I like the magazine capacity. It definitely is an upgrade. Let's get into the negatives. So some negatives I found was the ends of the magazine are very protruding and are a very harsh angle in terms of your hand. So notice when I grip it, it's the bottom of the grip is impacting the meaty part of my hand. And I found that to be a hard angle there. I'll show a picture to show what I'm talking about. I have found that other commenters, in terms of when they bought the product on the website, did also mention that that was a negative, that it was impacting them. And that was the first thing I noticed when I installed it was, yeah, that's definitely hitting my hand. I took maybe 2 minutes with a hand file, and I grounded down those two corners. And now I have no issue with it. I can grip it as hard as I want, and it's not hurting me at all. So you just have to round down the corners, something to keep in mind. Maybe it's something the Mad Guts, if they can want to do it from the factory where they just round down the corners, that might be a nice thing to consider. I have found when I first installed them that the spring was very stiff. These micro compact magazines are known to be quite hard to load, and this was not hard to load, more so than a typical 365 magazine. But I found this one still does it, because this is the one I don't actually use as much. The one that I used, that my range testing, is loaded with my defensive ammunition for concealed carry. But you can actually notice that the first 2 and 3 rounds, there's kind of a binding in the spring. Not a negative, because I've used this magazine for a couple hundred repetitions. Before I even used it at the range, I did a lot of dry fire practice. I put it to capacity with snap caps, and I did a lot of loading cycles and unloading cycles just to make sure it was reliable before I actually brought it to the range. And this one doesn't do it anymore, but the point was the first 2 and 3 rounds for the first couple hundred cycles, it's going to be very stiff. It doesn't feel that way anymore when you use it for a while, but I'd say that's the only negative I have, is that the magazine spring is a little stiff, especially at the 2 and 3 round mark, and that the edges could be rounded down, but something you can easily do. So that's it. I'm going to conceal carry this. I'm going to do follow-up videos. I'm going to bring out the matches. I'm going to bring it out to the range. I feel confident enough that I'm going to continue to carry this magazine, and I trust, not to be like grandiose, but I trust this magazine with my life, because I'm going to conceal carry this. I think it's a good product, a good upgrade that you should consider. Thanks for watching YouTube. This video got a little bit longer than I expected. But thanks for watching. Just like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.